The friction in an interior design project often surfaces in the hours that quietly disappear between the lines of a contract. Consider Daniel, a designer hired for a family living room. When one project detail was left unclear, he chose to keep moving rather than pausing for a difficult conversation. Over the next few weeks, that single ambiguity led to extra research, redundant follow-ups, and an expanded approval process, all of it unbilled. Daniel tried to fix the situation by working harder, but the business simply absorbed the uncertainty. The client saw a smooth surface, while the designer carried the underwater costs of overhead, complexity, and risk. Daniel's experience shows that resolving scope creep requires a visible protocol rather than a tougher personality. To build that protocol, log every project touchpoint for the next 2 weeks. This includes the rapid texts, the vendor calls, and the small decisions that usually go undocumented. Use this log to begin sorting your daily actions into 2 categories: billable delivery and business administration. Sketching or space planning falls under delivery. Managing a damaged shipment or chasing an invoice belongs in administration. This raw data allows a business to accurately price a project because you cannot monetize labor that you haven't first measured. Once you have these figures, update your standard estimate template to account for the actual time these tasks require. Add 4 specific line items that are often overlooked: communication, sourcing, documentation, and closeout. At the end of your next project, compare these original estimates against the actual hours you tracked during the work. Itemizing these categories transforms the estimate into a protective baseline, ensuring the business no longer has to absorb the cost of project uncertainty. When a client requests work outside of that baseline, you need a concrete response strategy to stop the expansion of free labor. Try this specific script. Based on what has changed, I'll summarize the impact, the available options, and what we need to approve before we continue. Address these changes immediately. Waiting until you are frustrated leads to a tone of resentment, whereas early boundaries remain neutral and professional. Avoid vague language like, "we may need to revisit this." State exactly what changed and what choice the client needs to make. Follow every verbal agreement with a written summary. The record is what protects the next phase of the project. A functional boundary protects the final result and ensures the project remains predictable for both parties. Before taking action on any new request, run the decision through a 5-point quick check. Confirm if the expectations are clear, if the impact on the fee is visible, and if the client has a real choice, if the approval is documented, and if the rest of the team understands the next step. If any answer is no, stop to fix the process while the decision is still small. Visible business boundaries create a safer environment for the project, establishing a structure that protects the thinking behind the design. For more practical systems for interior designers, subscribe to Interior Gate. Tell us in the comments, which of these hidden hours is the hardest for you to track?